The film begins in the Adilabad forest with a very touching song from one of the tribe. The singer is a joyful 12-year-old girl Molly who is drawing a peacock on the hand of a lovely lady. Everything appears to be beautiful with natural scenery, but there is something fishy. The tribe people, who show up poor and governed through their attire, are concerned about something. And we learned about this fear in the next minutes, when a British Army general appears on the scene. General Scott Buxton is returning from his usual hunting. The roar of hounds along with a strong exalted background music, then a fearful reaction of the tribe's people suggests that British Army is ruling the tribe. Catherine, the general's wife, demands that she want to take Molly as a mantelpiece. General instructs one of his men to pay some money to Molly's mother Loki in exchange for Molly. The naive tribesmen had no idea what the British general planned to do to them. They abduct Molly from her mother and depart. Loki, realizing what had just occurred, began chasing army vehicles while loudly calling her daughter's name and crying. But gosh, the tyrannical general commanded the murder of the mother, not with a bullet, because the brown rubbish does not deserve an English bullet, so the soldier killed her with a thick beam of a wood. These first 5 minutes of the movie are enough to set the stage for everything, which is going to mesmerize the audience in the next 3 long hours. The next scene shifts from forest to the outskirts of Delhi where Indian people are protesting for the release of their leader Lajpat Rai. The public is aggressive and out of control. They want to burn British Army and continuously demanding the release of their leader. Here we encounter our protagonist Raju, who is a soldier in the British Army. Something in his eyes is sparkling. It looks like he wants to conquer the whole mob out there. He got that opportunity when an officer orders the soldiers to bring a revolutionary who just threw a stone in the British tent. Raju infiltrate into the aggressive public to catch a rebel. We witness an unstoppable action among the public. Raju is smashing everyone who dares to stop him. People are calling him traitor. He doesn't care and finally gets the rebel. Although the fighting and action give the impression of being unrealistic, but who cares? Our hero's first impression is magical. He has conquered the mob, and so the attention of British Army's officer. We come to know that he is intended to get a special rank in the army for a specific purpose. We are now taken into the palace of the British government, where a friend of the tribe informs Scott's office that the girl Scott abducted must be returned to the tribe immediately, failing which the Gonds tribe guardian will pursue their missing daughter to the fullest extent possible and attempt to save her at all costs. The arrogant British governor taunts that a tribal person who just knows how to use a bow and arrow poses no threat to the powerful British emperor. The guardian of Gond tribe, Bhim, our mighty hero, is actually on the way to save the girl and has been arrived in Delhi. Bhim pretended to be a Muslim man named Akhtar while working as a mechanic at a shop and residing with a Muslim family as their family member. He must have more elaborate preparations to save Mali, something tells me. In an assembly of military officers and administrators under Catherine, advising how to avoid this threat, but the task seems insurmountable because they have no leads. Catherine announces that the one who will vanish this danger will be promoted to the rank of special officer, and here our Raju offers his services. So yeah, Raju wants to become a special officer. Catherine seeks out his assistance to neutralize the danger. As they begin their new duty, Raju and his uncle go to a number of pro-independence events in search of leads, because a man who opposes the British Empire will be present at gatherings of freedom fighters. Raju suggests murdering Scott at one such gathering. Lakhu, Bhim's trusting assistant, is interested in what he has to say. Given that Bhim was also attempting to get Scott, he falls for Raju's deception and makes an effort to enlist him in his scheme. But Lakhu runs away after learning his true identity. The army was a real danger for Bhim's group, and if they fail to hide their identities, army will kill them all. Raju seems to be targeting Lakhu as his intended target. He starts following him in order to apprehend him. A short while later, as Raju was chasing Lakhu, Bhim and Raju crossed paths. Unaware of their different identities and goals, they teamed up to save a boy from a train wreck, which led to the development of a close friendship between the two. This scene, however, has a particular charisma and irony because Raju, a military genius, is unaware that Bhim is actually his chance to win the special officer rank, and Bhim, a wildly brave giant, is unaware that Raju is a member of the British Army and is pursuing the mission to undermine Bhim's attempts to save Mali. There is a flurry of metaphysical action going on there. From this point on, the magnificent action and emotional saga are all set to begin. The audience is captivated by Raju and Bheem's dramatic irony for the rest of the film. The two get to know each other better over time, and their friendship deepens every day. Raju is intelligent, endearing, and most importantly, he is familiar with British culture and language. Bheem encounters Jenny, Scott's niece, the compassionate girl who previously saved one of Bheem's fellows from British rage. A love episode in his life will also begin. Although he obviously does not speak her language, he wants to speak with her. This raises the possibility that Bheem wants to court Jenny because she might be able to assist him in getting into the British palace. Our Bheem is a simple guy who values love and the heart above all else. Raju then acts as a responsible buddy by assisting Bheem in getting Jenny. We have some extremely humorous instances here when Bheem comes along with Jenny. For example, he can't pronounce her name. Jenny is charmed by Bheem's character and invites him to a party at her request. We are entertained during the party with a dance known as Dizzy Notch, in which Bheem triumphs. Jenny now treats Bheem as a friend after the party. She offers him coffee in her house. Jenny's house is Scott's residence, where Mally is being held. So Bheem is going to meet Mally. How can he resist the offer of coffee? Jenny informs him that Scott is in London and will return in 2 days, after which they will host a spectacular celebration. Bheem has the opportunity to meet Mally in Jenny's house, and the situation is so emotional and breathtaking that you will cry. It appears that two spirits are reuniting after centuries separated. Mally tries to convince Bheem into taking her with him, but he is helpless because he was unprepared for this moment and is alone. Bheem is outraged after this meeting and vows to take direct action. Eventually, Raju discovers Laku's secret identity and whereabouts and apprehends him. He is in Raju's custody. Raju is questioning Laku about his business partner. But wait, there's a flashback in Raju's life. We learn that Raju is also a tribal, and that he has a lover Sita back in his tribe who is waiting for him, holding a bracelet that Raju once gave her. But we still didn't understand why Raju was in the British Army. During one of the interrogations, Laku provokes a snake into attacking Raju. He then tells him of his impending fate and that the remedy is only known to the Gonds tribe. Scott had to return from London that evening, and there was a big party. So Bheem intended to attack the party. Raju approaches Bheem, dizzy and in pain, and Bheem immediately attends to him. Another intense and touching episode. He then began to treat Raju with herbs and spices. Being a Gond, he knew the cure to this snake's poison. To protect Raju's life, Bheem gives him his holy thread, which he was wearing around his neck. Raju deduces Bheem's true intentions after observing religious similarities between Laku and Bheem. Regardless, Bheem confesses his tribal origins and goal, unaware of Raju's hidden identity. Bheem also exposes his plan for Mally's rescue. He leaves to the party. After Bheem's departure, Raju feels overly emotional for their connection, recalling their close moments in camaraderie. Something tells us that he will assist Bheem in recovering Mally. Bheem's soldiers rush into Scott's mansion with a lorry full of wild animals. Yes, Bheem was catching the animal from Delhi Forest during his planning days in Delhi to assault British troops, causing pandemonium among the assembled guests. The animals attack Scott's guards, allowing Bheem to fight briefly. Surprised, Raju appears, not to help Bheem, but to stop him. They fight wildly, a battle full of emotion. Raju then informs him about Scott's plan to kill Mally if he does not surrender. Bheem submits out of obligation. Raju was eventually successful in stopping Bheem. And now for the good news. He has been promoted to the rank of Special Officer and becomes a favorite and important officer in the British Army. He is now in command of barracks and weaponry, and he writes a letter to his girlfriend informing him that everything is going as planned. Wait, what plan? Another flashback of Raju's life. Raju, 14, is being trained by his father, along with many other tribal people, to fight for freedom. However, the soldiers lack sufficient weapons to cope with the British force. British troops attacked the tribe during one of these trainings. Although his father was successful in sending his tribe to safety, his wife and himself were killed during the battle. The father makes Raju's promise to bring enough weapons to drive the British forces back home. Raju appears to be fully prepared for his mission to carry the weapon to his people. But hold on, so everything Raju has been doing up until now was trying to help his tribe. An emotional twist in the story. When Scott ordered Raju to punish Bheem in front of the people, Bheem was unbeatable no matter how harsh the punishment. He was upright despite the fact that they were shattering his legs. During his punishment, Bheem sings a revolutionary song which incites public emotion and leads to public sabotage of the army. Raju realizes that liberation requires more than just weapons. Spirits are also required. Bhim is the volcano, capable of igniting the troops with his emotions, so he decided to move Bhim off the scaffold to a safe place. He also intends to release Mali and give her to Bhim. We know Raju is a good planner, therefore he established the conditions for Bhim's escape. But the irony remains, Bhim is unaware that Raju is now on his side. Months later, Bhim, who fled to Hathras with Mali, is on the verge of being apprehended by colonial officials. Raju's fiancée, Sita, dissuades them by claiming a prevalent smallpox outbreak. While she is unaware of Bhim's true identity, she discloses Raju's true anti-colonialist intentions. She also informs them that Raju's execution is imminent, because the government sent her a letter to collect the dead body. Bhim realizes that Raju is actually on a grand mission to save his land as compared to his mission, which was just to save Mali. He swears to save him after being humiliated by his own stupidness. With the help of a sympathetic Jenny, Bhim infiltrates the barracks where Raju is being held and frees him, raising the suspicions of other troops in the process. Following their escape, the pair runs to a neighboring woodland, where they massacre additional troops with a longbow stolen from a Lord Ram shrine. The two throw a blazing motorcycle into the barracks ammunition in an attempt to finish off Scott. The explosion that results kills several others, including Catherine. The crippled Scott is cornered by Raju, who gives Bhim the order to kill him with an English rifle to accomplish their respective goals. They leave Delhi and eventually live with Sita and Jenny again. Yes, Jenny, our hero's love. See, I told you Bhim is pure heart. This movie rules supreme. A bromantic, crazy show. Our brown-skinned heroes rescue kids, fight tigers with just their hands, and even work together to defeat their imperial adversaries by using just hand signals. As a result, RRR has a bundle for you, whether you prefer action or romance films. Thanks for watching another essential movie recap. Please like and subscribe.